Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Live show here on a Thursday. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. That is your producer, Jeffrey Cooperstein. Happy New Year to all the Yinzers out there. First live show of 2025, man. I just want to give a quick shout out to Steelers Nation here and give a quick thank you to everything you guys did for us this past year.
Absolutely.
It was a huge, monumental, paradigm-shifting year for us here at Steelers Talk. We had that awesome run in the summer during the dog days with the super chats and all that great stuff. But also we added over 30,000 subscribers here on Steelers Talk this past year. So if you're new to our family last year, now you're here in 2025. Thank you guys so much for joining us to talk some Steelers football here during the week. So today we got a bunch of great Steelers content coming your way. So the latest Steelers news and rumors coming up. Mel Kiper Jr. Has linked Ashton Gianti to the Pittsburgh Steelers as a potential first-round pick for the black and gold. I'll let you guys know my thoughts on that. Also, we got the latest injury updates on Dante Jackson, Roman Wilson, Cole Holcomb, all those guys. And then also we're going to be finishing up our show today in our second segment with some crazy Steelers quarterback rumors. I'm going to be talking about all the different options that the Steelers may or may not have at their disposal. Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, J.J. McCarthy, and a surprise one at the end of that Steelers QB Rumors segment. So make sure you guys stick around towards the end of that. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. It really does help out the stream. Speaking of the stream, we are going to be going live for a special hour-and-a-half pregame show. We usually go live an hour before kickoff, before Steelers games for our live watch parties. This week, it's the regular season finale against the Pussycats at home on Saturday Night Football. So we're going to go live at 6:30. Need a win. We're going to go get a win on Saturday, hopefully here. But we're going to start that stream 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to raffle off a Steelers jersey, all that great stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun on that stream as well. Coop can't wait for that one. And today, our special promotion is we're going to go half off raffle tickets for Saturday's watch party. So usually when you watch us on the watch party on Saturday, it's $20 to get into the jersey raffle. Today, for your donations, whether it be Super Chat, whether it be Venmo, whether it be Cashapp or PayPal, you guys get half off raffle tickets. So just $10 Super Chat would get you one raffle ticket to win a Steelers jersey of your choice on Saturday's watch party. And then if you do it via Venmo, Cashapp, or PayPal, you actually get 2 raffle tickets for every $10 you donate on today's show. Dylan Lewandowski earlier this week put in a $100 Venmo, which means he's got 20 raffle tickets to win that Steelers jersey on Saturday night. So if you guys want to get in on the action, half off raffle tickets here on Steelers Talk Live today. You guys can send in your Super Chats, or you guys can send in Venmo at Jack-Sperry. On Cash App, money sign Captain Jack 19, or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal for double your raffle tickets every $10 you spend. Speaking of the people that donate to the channel, guys, really want to show our appreciation here to all the people that have put in $500 or more on a singular stream. These are our Black Diamonds. You get a Steelers Talk a Super Chat sticker for life, and then you also get a game day jersey that we wear during our watch party. So big shout out to all of you guys and all the Black Diamonds that we have here. Still need to get to some of the Black Diamonds, but we're working on it. I promise every single person who is a Black Diamond will have their sticker done for Saturday's game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. So if you haven't gotten your sticker yet, I will be making your sticker tomorrow. So make sure you guys stick around and make sure you guys tune in on Saturday to see what your sticker looks like.
We got one more. Hang on.
We've got one more here?
Yep.
Okay, so I want to give a shout-out here to our latest Black Diamonds here, and these are the newest Black Diamonds in our family. Christine Miller, Thick Klappa, Unknown, Mason Engelby, Wolf Vane, Captain Ford Guns, Troy Abuga, and, of course, you could be next. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. Also, if you guys want to get my thoughts on the Steelers every single day, I put out my stuff on X. You can find me at Jack_Sperry on X. Put out my film analysis on there, all that great stuff. Put my shorts up there as well. So if you want to follow me on there, you can find me at Jack_Sperry. Also, if you're a big fan of draft content, I'm going to be heading up our draft coverage here at Steelers Talk at Chat Sports this year, along with Tom
Also
Downey,
Steelers Talk.
and also on Steelers Talk. So if you want some extensive draft content, I'm going to be gearing that up here pretty soon. You can find me at Jack_Sperry. Got our first super chat of the day. Nick Kirchevel. Appreciate you, Nick. He put in another $5. I'll put you into the raffle on Saturday. Says, do you think Cam Scatterbo would be a good fit for the Steelers, and what round of the draft do you think he goes in? Yeah, I think he would be a good fit. I don't think Najee Harris will be back next season. I think that they declined his fifth-year option for a reason. And it looks like the Irish just picked up a fumble here in the college football playoff game. We're going to give you guys updates on that game as the game goes on. It's 6-3 right now. The Irish just turned the ball over. So I'm wearing my green for my Irish today, so go Irish. Sorry if you're a Georgia fan. But to answer Nick's question here, I think Cam Scatterbo would be a good fit. I think Najee Harris is going to be out the door this offseason. Jaylen Warren is kind of your smaller, kind of your lightning back. Scatterbo can definitely be that thunder back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think he's probably going to go somewhere in the second or third round, probably a day 2 pick there, Nick. So hope that answers your question. Thanks for the $5 super chat, Nick. If you want to get in on the Steelers jersey raffle this weekend, all you need is another $5 super chat to make that happen.
You think he's day 2, even with the traits?
Yeah, I think so. Then we got LJ here. Says, before every week.
Wrong one.
What's up?
Wrong one.
Oh, this is the wrong one?
This is the right one.
Okay. Says, do you think GP gets traded? 27-26 Pittsburgh is his score prediction for this weekend. LJ, I think that there is a possibility of it. Here's how I think it's going to go down, LJ. If he gets traded, this is how it's going to go. George Pickens wants... Hey, the Irish just scored a touchdown, baby. Let's go. Anyway, to answer your question, sorry, I keep getting distracted here. But George Pickens, this is how he would get traded. He wants an extension this offseason. The Steelers don't want to give him that extension. And then George Pickens says, either give me the extension or trade me, or I'm not going to show up to training camp. That's how, a potential trade situation would work for George Pickens. And, if that's the case, I would love for the Pittsburgh Steelers to maybe trade him and maybe like a 3rd or 4th round draft pick to get Garrett Wilson. That would be like the dream, all right, to replace George Pickens with a guy like Garrett Wilson, who's still on his rookie contract for another year at least here. And, he's somebody that I think could be a really special player, all right? So George Pickens, special player, but he's got some behavior issues, some personality issues, doesn't show up to work on time. That's been an issue for him this year. Doesn't give the best effort on the field all the time, whereas Garrett Wilson, he doesn't have any of those issues, and you already know that he can be a special player in the right team with the right team, and I think that team could be us. So if George Pickens wants that extension and the Steelers don't want to give it to him, that's probably how I think George Pickens gets traded. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope that George is here for a very long time and that he's a Steeler for life. But sometimes that's not the way it works. So we'll see what happens. All right, if you guys want to shout out on the show, I want to see who's here. We got 116 Yinzers in the chat room right now. Spam me if you want to get a shout out. Coop, who's in the chat right now?
I see Hot Rod. I saw Maya's World, who says, "What's up, Koopy?" and also, "What's up, Jackie?" The 2 Steelers goats.
Ah, yes, Mayas. Thank you so much.
I see Terza B. I see Young Noticeable. G-Man. Is that Ragel? Rage?
I think I see Terza. I see Gary Frank.
Pizza
I see
is Goated is back.
Pizza's Goated is here. We got Chief and Tato. Lucas Skew is here. What's up, Luke?
What up, Luke?
We've got Utah. We got Paranormal in the Funhouse. Paranormal, how you doing? He says, I'm doing better. I'm in rehabilitation. So that's good news there, Paranormal. So I hope that continues to go well. Praying for you, my friend. We got Wonder Boy. We got Gabe Edwards. We got Mini Clicks. LS7. Myas is here. Mini Clicks again. Steffi. Of course, Cassie. My girlfriend's in the chat. Everyone give Cassie some love.
I'd love to see the chat, but I just got DC'd from the internet.
Oh, yeah, nice. We do have some internet issues at Chat Sports today, guys, so just know that. So if there's any connectivity issues, just know that we'll get back as soon as we possibly can.
What Wi-Fi are you on there?
What Wi-Fi am I? I think I am on HQ.
So am I.
I know. I don't know. Okay, so make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. Our goal is to get to at least 100 likes on today's stream. It really does help us out. It tells the YouTube algorithm to push this video and push this stream out to other Steelers fans like yourself. So our first segment of the day. The latest Steelers news and rumors. We're going to be covering that here in about 2 minutes. Then we get into the crazy Steelers quarterback rumors. I'm going to be talking Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to be talking Kyler Murray. I'm going to be talking Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, and more in our second segment today, breaking down these quarterbacks and the options at the Steelers' disposal to potentially replace Russell Wilson if that's what they want to do at QB1 next offseason. So it's going to be a fun one today, guys. Without further ado, Cooper, we ready to get into this first segment here?
As soon as I connect.
Are you not connected still?
I am now.
You are now?
It just took a minute.
Goodness gracious. All right. So we're going to hopefully that it's connected throughout this entire video so you can get to the graphics.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to make this work to the best of our ability. Also, guys, I'll say this right now. If we can get to $100 in Super Chats or Venmos by the end of today's show, by the end of our second segment, we'll stay live until the end of the Georgia-Notre Dame game, and we'll do a mini watch party for the second half of Notre Dame-Georgia.
They're at halftime right now.
They're at halftime right now, so it'd probably be for just the fourth quarter or so, but we'll call the end of the Notre Dame-Georgia game if we can get to $100 in Super Chats and Venmos by the end of today's show. So that's my promise to you guys. Let's get there. $100. We'll stay live till the end of the Notre Dame-Georgia game. Okay, Coop, now are we ready to go?
We are ready to go, my friend.
Brian03, I see your super chat. We're going to get to it at the end of this first segment. So appreciate your support. Let's get into it right now at the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and today we got a bunch of great Steelers news and rumors to cover with you guys right here on the program. First up here on Steelers Talk on a beautiful Thursday. Mel Kiper Jr. linked a top running back prospect to the Pittsburgh Steelers as a potential first-round draft target for the black and gold. Talk about who that is here in just a second. Also, I'm going to talk about whether or not Roman Wilson can contribute once this team gets to the playoffs. He was listed as out this week as despite returning to practice. Is he going to make any kind of impact in the playoffs? I'll answer that question as well. And we'll finish up today's show with Dante Jackson, who suffered an injury setback. Is he going to play on Saturday? And if not, who's going to start in his place? We'll answer those questions throughout the entirety of today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors. But first, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I want to thank each and every one of you guys that clicked that subscribe button during the 2024 year. We added over 30,000 subscribers to this channel, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, growing this community here over the last several years. We're still the fastest growing Steelers YouTube channel, and now we are the largest Steelers News Talk program anywhere on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for all of your guys' support watching our show every day. If you watch our show every day, make sure you click that subscribe button to help us out. Okay, now let's talk about the guy that Mel Kiper Jr. linked to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's a guy that a lot of people know, Ashton Jeanty, out of Boise State as a potential landing spot for the Heisman Trophy finalist. And, man, this is somebody that I think would be a great fit for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I don't think it's a completely unrealistic possibility. All right, he is a truly special player. Now, is he like the best running back prospect I've ever evaluated? No, but he's certainly in the category of guys that deserve to go in the first round. And the reason why I think that it's a relatively realistic possibility here for Pittsburgh is, one, I think that Najee Harris is likely out the door. He's somebody that's going to be looking for a larger contract. He wants to continue to be a number one running back in the National Football League. I just don't know if his production to this point in his career has really warranted giving him a big contract to return to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have Jaylen Warren, and it's a very, very good running back class. If I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm using my cap resources at other positions and not on Najee Harris. And you guys got to remember this when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Arthur Smith, if he's still the offensive coordinator of this team, and it looks like he will, and even if he's not, Tomlin's going to bring in somebody that wants to develop a power run game. That's the identity the Steelers want to have offensively. They want to dominate on defense, and they want to dominate up front with a power run game to essentially suffocate an opposing defense in the fourth quarter. That was their vision with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And with Najee potentially out the building, they're going to have to get somebody to replace his role in this offense as a potential bell cow, kind of workhorse, somebody that can really wear out an opposing defense. I really do think Ashton Jeanty can fit that role. However, we've been down this road before, guys, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers have drafted a running back in the first round, and it was Najee Harris who ended up being a disappointment. So what's to say that Ashton Jeanty, a running back, could also be a disappointment for this football team as a first-round pick. It's certainly a possibility. Now, I definitely have a higher grade on Janti than I did on Najee Harris. But, let's remember that Najee was highly touted coming out of Alabama. He still has some very adamant followers and fans here in Steelers Nation who still think he can be a top running back, and he is still very talented. But, drafting a running back in round 1 can go great. Look at the Cowboys when they drafted Ezekiel Elliott, catapulted them to 13 wins and a number 1 seed in the NFC in just one season. But you can also get a guy like Najee Harris who really disappoints throughout his rookie contract. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Would you draft Ashton Janty in round 1 out of Boise State? Give me a D if you would draft him in round 1, or type P if you would pass on him and take a running back later in the draft. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at PrizePicks. While I'm talking about PrizePicks, let me know your answer to this question down there in the comments section. With that, let's have word from our sponsor here at PrizePicks. And PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action on your phone this football season. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on at least 2 player stat projections for a shot to win 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Sign up today and get $50 instantly, and you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where every Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineup. So you guys can see here my PrizePicks projection for this weekend. I'm taking the less on rush yards for Derrick Henry, the less on rush yards for Jaden Daniels, and the more on receiving yards for Justin Jefferson. You guys can download the app today and use code CLNS as the promo code to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the PrizePicks app today. PrizePicks, run your game. So now Roman Wilson, rookie receiver out of Michigan, his 21-day window to come off IR was open this week. He practiced for the first time in a while this week, but he has now been listed as out for Week 18 versus the Cincinnati Bengals. And, when you look at a guy like Roman and, the fact that he hasn't played at all really in his rookie season here in Pittsburgh, he really is Schrodinger's receiver, all right? And if you know anything about Schrodinger's cat, it's the cat that can be both deemed alive and dead at the same time. And that's how I feel about Roman Wilson right now, guys, because if he's healthy, I think he can absolutely be of some help for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but there's definitely a reason why they're keeping him out, whether it be health, whether it be a lack of trust, him trying to get on a moving train, whatever the case may be. Right now I think that we can probably consider Roman Wilson to be both alive and dead at the same time. You take a look at my scouting report on Roman when he was coming out of Michigan last year. I love his acceleration. I love his foot speed and his route running. His hands are really good for his size. He's only 5'10", but he does a really good job catching the ball with his hands and not his body. Can make contested catches as well in the red zone. And I love his run blocking mentality. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he is going to block his ass off, and that's something I love about Roman Wilson. Now, the cons are the size is a bit lower. He's under 6 foot. The yards after the catch ability and the running after the catch ability actually isn't all that great. For a guy at his size, you would think it'd be better than it is. And in my opinion, he's a slot-only guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for any NFL team, I think he can get jammed when he plays outside. I think he should be a slot technician. I had a 3rd-round grade on him, which is where the Steelers took him. Now, the optimistic outlook on Roman is that, he hasn't been healthy all year, and now, he's finally starting to get healthy, and he can help this team win in the playoffs. And, that's certainly an optimistic outlook. But I can certainly see the pessimistic outlook on Roman as well, which is, if he could actually help the team right now, the Steelers would have him on the field. And, I think that there's a lot of credence to this argument. And, I think that right now, there's definitely reason to be at least a little bit concerned about Roman Wilson because this is not the best wide receiver room in the world. And despite that, the Steelers have been very cautious about using him this season, which is definitely worrisome. But, in theory, Roman Wilson should absolutely be able to help the Pittsburgh Steelers, all right? They drafted him for a reason, and it was to be kind of that short to intermediate route runner, to be kind of a safety blanket for Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, or whoever's going to be the quarterback this year, because there's a lot of deep threats on this Steelers wide receiver room right now. You got George Pickens, you got Calvin Austin III, you got Van Jefferson, who's pretty much, who traditionally was just like a straight line deep threat. Mike Williams is also a deep threat, more of a bigger body deep threat, though. Like, Roman Wilson was supposed to play a very tailored role to the Steelers wide receiver room, which was supposed to be that short to intermediate winner in the slot. And, they haven't had that this year. Calvin Austin III has been the closest thing to that. But honestly, I think Calvin is actually better as an outside receiver than he is in the slot. I know that most people think Calvin's a slot guy because he's smaller, and he does spend a lot of time in the slot, but that's because Roman's not playing. I actually think Calvin's a better receiver as a Z on the outside, and he's kind of reminds me of Brandon Cooks a little bit, only a little bit faster. So that's kind of what I think of Calvin Austin III. But really, man, in my opinion, as long as Roman Wilson's healthy and good to go and you trust him enough to play in this offense, anything to get Van Jefferson off the field. This brother is averaging like a catch a game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is awful, and really the only time that he's getting open is against zone coverage against coverage busts, all right? Or they're shifting their coverage to George Pickens and he gets open. He's not creating any sort of separation against man coverage, and they're putting their worst corner on him, and he still can't get open, all right? So Van Jefferson has been a huge disappointment this year, and honestly, I don't even think the expectations were that high, and the fact that he's still a disappointment despite those low expectations is definitely saying something. But, I think that the unfortunate likelihood for Roman Wilson this year is it's going to be a redshirt season for him. I think when this team gets to the playoffs, they're going to go with the guys that they trust, that know the offense, all these different things. And Roman Wilson just hasn't had enough time on the practice field and on the playing field this year to earn that trust with Russell Wilson, with Mike Tomlin, with Arthur Smith, and this entire coaching staff to feel like, yeah, we can get this kid on the field. So, my opinion, the next time we see Roman Wilson in a Steelers uniform on the playing surface, it's going to be in 2025. So predict it for me down there in the comment section. Will we see Roman Wilson again in a game this season? Simply give me a yes or a no down there in the comment section to let me know what you think of the Steelers rookie receiver. I got a bad injury update this week here on Donte Jackson, guys. Of course, you guys know he's been dealing with a little bit of a back issue this year. He's been dealing with a nerve pinch all season long, and he suffered a setback this week in preparation for this game against the Cincinnati Bengals. And he says he's hopeful to play on Saturday, but right now he's listed as questionable to play. But honestly, guys, even if Donte Jackson is not able to go, I'm very intrigued to see if Corey Trice Jr. can be a better option heading into the postseason as CB2, okay? Because you look at Donte Jackson's PFF grades this year, and it's not like PFF grades are gospel, all right? That's not what I'm saying. You got to pair the available evidence with the stats and all the film and all this different stuff. But right now, the PFF grades are not good, man. Right now, he's ranking 112th out of 117 eligible NFL corners this year in overall PFF grade. And then in coverage grade, it's even worse. There's only 2 corners in the entire league that have a lower coverage grade than Donte Jackson this year. Now, I know he's been in the right place at the right time at times this year, and he's gotten 5 interceptions. But, you got to be able to cover guys, and Donte Jackson has not done a good job of that on film or in the numbers this year, which is why I'm very intrigued by Corey Trice Jr., because in limited reps this year, his PFF grade is a lot better at 75.9. His coverage grade is pretty darn good as well at 87.8. And last week, his coverage grade was all the way in the 90s. The Kansas City and Mahomes was kind of avoiding Corey Trice Jr., and they were attacking Donte Jackson's side of the field more often because Corey was doing a pretty darn good job in coverage. So I'm kind of intrigued to see what Corey Trice Jr. can do as this this team's number 2 cornerback on the other side of Joey Porter Jr., and we might just have the opportunity to see what that looks like this weekend against Cincinnati. So let me know down there in the comment section, who's the better player? Who should be CB2 here in Pittsburgh? Type CT if you think Corey Trice Jr., or type DJ if you think Donte Jackson. That'll be it for today's edition of Steelers News and Rumors. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of today's show. We got more great Steelers content coming your way before Saturday's game. Coop and I were going to be going live right here on this channel at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time Saturday night for the regular season finale. We have the largest Steelers watch parties for anywhere on YouTube, so thank you guys so much for making that happen, and click that subscribe button to never miss a live watch party. All right, Brian03 coming in with a $5 super chat says, if Tomlin gets the boot after another one and done, who's your preferred head coach to bring in besides the obvious ones? Should Pittsburgh draft offensive tackle, wide receiver, or running back in first?
Tomlin's not getting fired.
So first of all, even if they're one and done, they're not going to fire Tomlin. They just signed him to a brand new contract extension. The expectation around the league this year was this. I think the over-under on wins this year for Pittsburgh was 7.5. So this is not a team that was expected to have a playoff spot locked up by week 14 or whatever it was, right? Or week 15. Like, that wasn't the expectation. And Mike Tomlin, whether, you know, you like him, whether you don't like him, whether you want him gone, whether you want him to stay, you know, it's just the case that, you know, the team overachieved what the league was expecting them to do this year. So Art Rooney, a guy that is super patient, a guy that, you know, has only had 3 head coaches in his family's entire history owning this football team. I mean, you know, they're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. It's going to take a much worse season than a 10-win season and a one-and-done playoff exit for them to fire him.
I would wager to say that Mike Tomlin will never be fired as head coach of the Steelers, and he will have to retire on his own accord.
I won't go that far, but it's going to have to take a pretty big collapse from Mike Tomlin for them to even think about firing him. But to, your other questions there, preferred head coaching candidates, obviously, like the obvious ones, Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, Brian Flores. It would have to be somebody, I think, that would have to have, like, that could fill Tomlin's shoes charismatically.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll would be an interesting one.
He's short-term.
Belichick, somebody that can command the room at a similar level to Mike Tomlin. Like, nobody's as charismatic as Mike Tomlin is, but you can't have, like, a timid house mouse like Zach Taylor in there to be your head coach or something like that. Like,
That's why Tomlin's
you got to have a loud. You have to have somebody that, you know, that he walks into the room, he commands the room, like Mike Tomlin does. And, you know, I'm not even sure if Ben Johnson is that. I'd probably go with Vrabel or Flores would probably be my top 2 choices, honestly. And Belichick might be in that conversation too. But like I said, guys, that's a moot point. And then when it comes to who the team should take in the first round, you know, there's going to be a couple positions.
Best player available.
You know, best player available. So you can talk about, you know, if Drew Aller comes out, you can talk about maybe him. You can talk about Ashton Gianti in the first round. Cam Scadaboo is somebody, another running back that might get some first-round hype towards the end of the first round. You know, what are the other positions there? Brian mentions offensive tackle, wide receiver. You know, wide receiver is certainly an interesting one. But here's the thing at receiver, guys. I think they're going to stick with a number 1 receiver, whether that's George Pickens or somebody else. I think they're going to stick with Calvin Austin III at Z. I think they're going to stick with their plan at Roman Wilson in the slot. And I think that's what they're going to go with next year. You know, I think we can fantasize about T. Higgins in a Steelers uniform or whatever we want. I would love them to get DeAndre Hopkins on the cheap this free agency, but I honestly think they're going to really hone in on getting a really good running back early in the draft. They got to get some cornerback help. I don't want Dante Jackson back next year. I know he's got 5 picks, but his coverage ability is just straight ass. You know, and that's where I'm at. Lucas Q coming in with a $5 super chat says, love the show. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Appreciate you, Lucas Q. I love the Steelers diamonds there too.
Yeah.
That's real cool stuff right there, Luke. Love his sticker too, by the way. That's
curtain.
It's the steel curtain right there. Gary Frank, my man, coming in with a 10, says, do you think Fields should get majority playing time this week to give Wilson rest? And thank you guys for the work you guys do and for giving me something to look forward to every week. Gary, we love doing it, man. We love talking ball with you. To answer your question, no. I think Wilson should start the entire game.
They have to win.
And, you know, honestly, they got to win this game. You know, like Mike Tomlin said in his press conference earlier this week, this team's got to get the stench off of those last 3 losses off of them. All right? That's, you know, getting confident heading into this postseason run is going to be important for them. So even if Baltimore locks up the division on Saturday afternoon, I think it's going to be important for Pittsburgh to try and get some of their confidence back and get some of their swagger back. With a win over the Bengals, because, you know, the Bengals are a formidable team. If this defense can put together a good performance against Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, they'll probably feel like they can beat any offense in the National Football League if they can put together a good performance on Saturday night. So appreciate you, Gary. Joshua Bailey, my man, coming in with a $10 super chat. So all the people putting in 10s, you guys are all entered into the raffle for Saturday, by the way. So Josh, appreciate the 10. You are in the raffle for Saturday. If you got a question, let us know. We'll put you up on screen.
By the way, we're only $45 away from staying live.
Hey, that's right. We're only $45 away from staying live to the end of this Notre Dame-Georgia game. We'll do a mini watch party for this college football playoff game if you guys want. But we have to get to $100 in super chats for us to stick around. So Nick coming in here says, would you start Mason McCormick at right guard next year, address it with a first-round pick or free agency? I feel like addressing that position would really help the run game next year. Now, they believe in Mason. They do. They drafted him to be the right guard of the future. And, I think that, going from college where he was playing lower competition at
South Dakota, right?
What's that?
South
Dakota State. Yeah. All right, so Jackrabbits, lower level competition. He was playing on the left side. In classic Tomlin fashion, he moves somebody from a position that they don't play to the other side to the right guard position. And, he's been fine at moments, but he's been pretty uninspiring this year. I think that he's got the physical tools to get it done.
Early in his career.
And it's still very early in his career. So I think what they're going to do, whether we want it or not, I think what their plan is Broderick Jones at left tackle, Sayamalu at left guard, Frazier at center, McCormick at right guard, Fautano at right guard or right tackle.
You better hope Troy is ready to go, man.
I think that's the plan. And, they might get a couple, they got Spencer Anderson and, they got Nate Herbig to be their, backups and stuff. But, honestly, I don't think I would love them to pick an offensive tackle and to replace Broderick Jones because I don't think he's very good. But I think that they're going to go with the guys that they've invested high draft capital in next season. Got a 10 from Logie. What's up, Logie? You're in the raffle. Says, hear me out, Jack, in chat. I think he means Coop there.
No, he means chat.
Oh, okay. Then he says, and the chat. Yeah. Trade Minkah Fitzpatrick for a first, which is unlikely, or a second and third. Mock draft, round 1 corner, round 2 wide receiver, round 2 trade defensive lineman, round 3 running back. And I don't hate this.
I'm in on that.
Here's what I'll say though. I don't think they're going to spend a first round pick on a corner. All right? I think that they believe in Joey Porter Jr. And, you listen to Mike Tomlin talk about this guy. He loves him some Joey Porter Jr. He's got the physical tools to be the number 1 corner in this defense. He's had some struggles this year. But, I think that they will take a corner, but I think it'll be either on day 2 or early day 3 is when they'll take him, all right, as a number 2 guy. I don't think they're going to take a true number 1 guy in round 1. I think that they're probably going to hone in on either, honestly, running back. Right now, if I have to pick one position that I think they're going to take in round 1, if they get a chance to get Janty, I think that they're going to take it.
I agree.
Like, this team wants to run the offense through the run game, and in order to do that, you have to have a number 1 running back capable of being a dominant force. Look at Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, the teams that do it well, Eagles and Ravens.
The Pittsburgh Steelers value running back more than most teams in the NFL.
Yeah, and that's because they value the run game on offense more than the passing game, and, Janty fits that bill. So, honestly, I could certainly see them. If I have to guess right now, I think they spend that first-round pick on a running back. Lucas Skew, $5 super chat, says, did you watch the Longhorns game last night? It was crazy. Coop is our, in-house Longhorns fan here, Coop. So tell us about your experience watching that crazy game yesterday.
I lost about 10 pounds during that game just watching it because I was sweating out the nerves. That was an absolutely emotional roller coaster. We came out on top. We could have blown them out. We choked a 16-point lead away. The kicker can't make a kick. And then the last 5 minutes in overtime, Quinn Ewers clutched up.
I was worried for you, man. Like, I was watching that game. I'm like, is Coop even going to come into work tomorrow after they lose this game? Am I going to have Jack Lotteray or Steelers Smitty up on here?
Hey,
the Irish!
Return it!
The Irish return it!
Touchdown, Irish!
Touchdown, Notre Dame! Come on now, Chip! Let's go!
Unreal. To answer your question, Luke, the game was unbelievable. I lost about 10 years off my life from that one. I was exhausted from watching that game, but I'm glad we survived and we advanced.
Absolutely, my friend. We got one from LJ here.
LJ?
Canadian dollars.
Where in Canada do you live, LJ?
Cassie says Josh replied with his super chat question. Did you see? Can you search?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, I see it. If Terrell Austin gets fired, what are some realistic defensive coordinator replacements this offseason? Joshua, I honestly haven't really thought about it because he's not going to get fired. And the reason for that is because Terrell Austin runs Mike Tomlin's defense, and he runs the same defense that Tomlin has run pretty much his entire time being a defensive play caller. All right, and it kind of goes back to his roots in the Tampa 2, where they run a lot of cover 3 on early downs. Then they'll mix up Tampa 2, and then they'll throw in their fire zone blitz stuff on third down. That's what they do. All right, and is it predictable? Yes, but also if it's done effectively, it's very difficult to stop. And honestly, when the defense struggles, I think it's more on the players not executing. And, you can say it's coaching for not, instilling the communication and, instilling the confidence or whatever. But, I would say it's very unlikely that Terrell Austin gets fired as defensive coordinator. But that's just me. If he gets fired, we'll give you some defensive coordinator candidates here on the show. But I'm just going to say right now the likelihood is low. He just signed a new extension last year. LJ with a 279 says, I think they need to give Justin Fields 70% of the snaps in PS.
What does PS mean?
Practice squad?
Practice?
What does PS mean, LJ?
He meant Russell Wilson.
What?
Get 70% of the snaps. Russell should get 30.
Okay. So I don't think so. Justin Fields right now is your backup quarterback. I just don't think that there's any way you turn to him in the postseason at this, and you don't turn to him this late in the season. What's that?
In the postseason.
Oh, you think he should get 70% of the snaps in the postseason? I disagree, LJ. I don't know if we can get the graphics of the Steelers offense with Russell Wilson versus Justin Fields. It's a player 2 comp.
Yeah, I'll get it real quick.
Coop's going to go get it real quick, but, even in the recent offensive struggles, LJ, the offense has been better with Russell Wilson this season than Justin Fields. And, Justin had this offense going at about 20 points a game. He had less yards per game. He had almost a yard less per attempt, which is astronomical. His big-time throw percentage was lower. The turnover-worthy play percentage was higher than Russ's. I understand why people like Justin. He's big. He's talented. He can run like heck. But, you look at the numbers this year in the same offense with the same players around him, Russell Wilson's been the better QB for this team. And, maybe Russell Wilson isn't the guy that gets this team to the promised land. But I'm telling you right now, Justin Fields is not going to be the guy to do that either. You look at the numbers here. You guys can see, and this is with Russell Wilson in the offense kind of struggling for 4 straight weeks now. Russ's numbers are still clearly better than what Justin Fields was doing as QB1 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, I don't have anything against people that want Justin Fields to start. Everyone has their own opinion, but I do think that the numbers pretty clearly bear out that Russell Wilson has been the better option for this team this year. He's the better downfield thrower. He throws with more touch. He's been more clutch in the fourth quarter. And, some people like to point to the win percentage, Coop, and say, oh, Fields went 4-2. And Russ has lost 3 straight. But what were you going to say?
I was going to say he did go 4-2, but you have to look at the context of how he went 4-2.
Yeah, in the 4 games Fields won, the defense averaged giving up less than 10 points in those games. It was 9.75 points per game allowed in the 4 games Fields won. So the team wasn't winning because of Justin Fields, all right? The team was winning because it was the best defense in football when Fields was the quarterback.
So LJ clarified. He said he meant Russ to get 70% and Justin Fields to get 30%.
Oh, okay. So
I think 30% is still too much.
I agree. I would say
95-5.
Don't get me wrong. I think that there's instances where you use Justin Fields. I want to see them use him in the low red zone more. Yeah. I want to see, because he has 5 rushing touchdowns this year. He is such a threat close to the goal line. You got to use him more in those situations. I also think, 3rd and short, 4th and short. Get him out there, man. You have one of the best rushers in the league, period, on your football team, and Justin Fields. Use him, all right? Use him, all right? I'm not saying don't use Justin Fields at all, but the idea that as a full-time starting quarterback, he's going to get this team closer to a Super Bowl than Russell Wilson this year, it's just silly in my opinion. So coming up here, we've got the latest QB rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. So there's been a lot of talk about if the Steelers move off of Russell Wilson, what are they going to do? Are they going to go to Kyler Murray? Are they going to go to Aaron Rodgers? Are they going to go to J.J. McCarthy, Sam Darnold? We're going to be breaking it all down for you guys.
Oh, do we need to fix this way in 2?
Yes, we do.
Does it need to be QB?
Honestly, let's just get rid of.
Scrap.
Let's just go subscribe L3 there.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we'll just go into the weigh-in.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. All right. Are we ready? Let's get into it right now. Lucas Skew, I see. Oh, never mind. I see we have a couple more super chats here. We're going to get to those super chats at the end of the next segment, so make sure you guys stick around. Without further ado, let's get into the latest QB rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today, we're going to be talking about QB rumors for 2025. There's a lot of different names being thrown around out there as potential options for the Pittsburgh Steelers to potentially replace Russell Wilson as this team's starting quarterback next season. So we're going to be breaking down all the latest right here on Steelers Talk today. But before we get into the content, make sure you guys click that subscribe button, because if they make a change at quarterback, if they make a big trade for somebody this offseason, we're going to have you covered right here on Steelers Talk with breaking news coverage, and we're also going to have extensive rumors coverage surrounding the free agency, trades, and the draft, all the way up to those big respective dates. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button for extensive live coverage of every big move the Steelers make during the 2025 offseason. So let's start here with Kyler Murray, okay? Because Bovada Sportsbook currently gives the Pittsburgh Steelers the best odds of landing Kyler Murray via trade in 2025 if the Cardinals trade him. Okay, so you take a look at Kyler Murray here, and he's 27 years old, so he's still relatively young here. He's 5'10", 207 pounds. At least that's what they list him at, but he is absolutely tiny. He's got 3 years left on his current contract, so if you trade for him, he's yours for a while. He's also a two-time Pro Bowler and former NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Take a look here at his recent career stats over the last 4 years. This year, it's been pretty decent, I would guess, or I would say. But over the last several games, the second half of the season, it's been tough for Kyler Murray. He's got 5 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in his last 6 games. It hasn't been good stuff from Kyler Murray. Only 17 passing touchdowns this year to 11 interceptions. And he hasn't put up real elite production, I would say, since 2021. With Cliff Kingsbury there, when they had that really red hot start to that season there with in the desert. So listen, man, I don't think Arizona's going to move off of him, because it's like, if they trade him, who are they going to replace him with? I think we're going to talk about Sam Darnold a little bit later, but I don't think he's a possibility for him. Kyler is still very, very talented, and the team still owes him a lot of money. So I do think that the Cardinals will probably end up bringing him back. And even if he was made available, I'm not sure if he is a culture fit for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, this guy, he's known for playing Call of Duty, being kind of more of a me guy than a we guy. That doesn't scream, blue chip, Pittsburgh Steeler type of quarterback to me. Plus, he's a bit smaller, and, he's going to have to play in frigid conditions. I don't know if I trust Kyler Murray playing in the frigid, wet conditions that AFC North ball has to deal with. So I'm not sure if I love the fit with Kyler Murray with the black and gold, if I'm being completely honest with you. And the same thing goes for Aaron Rodgers. I know that Mike Florio threw the idea out there that Aaron Rodgers should be the next kind of, 1-year project, a rehabilitation project, just like for Russell Wilson was for the Steelers this year. But listen, man, Ryan Clark, if you know anything about Ryan Clark and Aaron Rodgers, these brothers do not like each other. And if you know anything about Mike Tomlin, is that he's very close with Ryan Clark. And Clark is definitely going to be in his ear saying, do not bring this guy into your locker room. So I find it extremely unlikely that Rodgers and Tomlin would be a good fit together. And I just don't see Aaron Rodgers coming to the black and gold next season. But what are the chances that the Steelers could land Sam Darnold this offseason? It's definitely an interesting idea. Sam has had a really good season there with the Minnesota Vikings this year. But here's the thing, guys. You're probably not going to get him in free agency. I know he's slated to be a free agent, but I think that if you're going to get Darnold, I think that at the very least, if the Vikings look to let him go, they're going to tag him and then trade him. So you're probably going to have to trade draft capital to the Minnesota Vikings if you want Sam Darnold to be this team's quarterback in 2025. Also, the Vikings would probably want a first-rounder. Right now, Sam Darnold is playing some really, really good football right now for that football team, and for them to move off of him and go to J.J. McCarthy, they're going to feel like they're going to have to get a first-round draft pick. So you take a look here at Darnold's profile. Like Kyler Murray, he's 27 years old. I know it's crazy. He came out a couple drafts before Kyler did, and he's the same freaking age. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, so he's thick. He's got that nice trunk, as Colin Cowherd likes to point out. Then we've got, he did have that career resurgence this year in Minnesota, and it's still going. He's had a really, really good stretch down the season. He's playing some really inspired football right now. And, his body type, his arm talent, all that great stuff, he can really thrive in a play-action-heavy offense in the AFC North. That's what the Steelers want to run. And that's what Darnold can potentially do here in Pittsburgh. You take a look at his numbers this year, very good numbers across the board. 35 freaking touchdowns, man. He has been absolutely dealing in the red zone. It helps to have guys like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, and have Kevin O'Connell call your plays. But Darnold's been playing some real good football, man, and he's going to be worth a large contract this offseason. But here's the thing. I think the Vikings are going to stick with Darnold. I think he's played too well this year where you can't just move off of him and say, hey, J.J. McCarthy, I know this guy led us to a 14 or 15-win season the season prior, maybe got a number 1 seed. Be as good or better than that guy in your first season after taking a year off. I just think it's a lot of pressure to put on J.J. McCarthy, so I think the Vikings have to bring back Sam Darnold, and I don't think he's a realistic opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now that I've just revealed what I think the Vikings are going to do, I think they're going to keep Sam Darnold. Could they trade J.J. McCarthy to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is that an opportunity for Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan to kind of investigate this offseason? Well, let's talk about that. J.J. McCarthy's still super young, guys. 21 years old, 6'3", 219 pounds, so he's got the size that you look for. He was selected in the top 10 of last year's NFL draft. Of course, the Vikings traded up to go get him. And then, he played in a play-action-heavy offense there in Michigan when he won that national championship, and he's used to playing in the cold. There at Michigan Stadium, Ohio State, all these different teams that he had to play late in the year, he's used to playing in the cold. So he could play in the AFC North as well. But I think that the case is that Pittsburgh's pick in the first round might not be high enough for the Minnesota Vikings to acquire J.J. McCarthy. I think there's going to be a number of teams that can't get Shadur Sanders and can't get Cam Ward in the NFL draft this year that are going to be willing to give up their first-round pick to acquire J.J. McCarthy that are ahead of Pittsburgh in the draft order. So to get him, you're going to have to give up your first and another pick to get him in your building, and I just don't know if Omar Khan's going to be willing to do that. Also, my 2 concerns for J.J. McCarthy. Number 1, taking a year off of football is extremely tough, especially when you're developing. Just ask Aaron Rodgers. Just ask Deshaun Watson. Okay, these guys took years off of football, and they came back, and they were absolutely abysmal. Okay, and J.J. McCarthy still has a long ways to go before he can be a legit starting quarterback in the National Football League, in my opinion. And then number 2, I don't really love the upside for him. All right, I compared him. My comp for him coming out was I thought he was a smaller Daniel Jones. All right, and if that sounds uninspiring, it's because it is. I think he struggles with accuracy outside the numbers and deep. I think his post-snap processing wasn't developed enough at Michigan. There's things to like about J.J. McCarthy, but there's also things to like about Daniel Jones. That's why Jones went as early as he did. But with McCarthy, I'm not the biggest believer in the world. So personally, I hope the Steelers don't sell the farm to make him the new franchise quarterback. Now, before I go here, I do have one more name to throw into the mix. Now, this one's a dark horse, and I don't think it's necessarily something that I think is likely to happen. But before I reveal who that is, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics, where you guys can get this brand new, really awesome, man, throwback Steelers t-shirt in your closet today. Go to chatsports.com/throwback. It's a nice classic black design with that Steelers helmet, the old school Steelers logo, or helmet logo there in the middle. If you like kind of that minimal look, you don't want any crazy designs on your t-shirt, but you still want to rep the black and gold, this is an awesome t-shirt to get it done with. Go to chatsports.com/throwback to get this t-shirt in your closet today. So the dark horse name to watch is Matthew Stafford, all right? And, this is the one guy that I think is a culture fit, that I think is an upgrade over Russell Wilson, and somebody that's relatively affordable for the Pittsburgh Steelers if the Rams make him available. And that's going to be the big question, guys. Take a look at Matthew Stafford's profile here. He's 36 years old, so he is getting up there, and that age has certainly showed a little bit this year, even down the stretch here for the Los Angeles Rams. He's still got good size, though, great arm talent. And he does have 2 years left on his current contract, so if he gets traded, you get him for 2 years. And, he has had elbow issues in the past, so there is a little bit of a risk there, but he has been very clear, or he has been clean so far this year. He's played in every game so far for the Pittsburgh Steelers or for the Los Angeles Rams. And, ever since Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua have come back from their injuries, he's played some pretty darn good football. Obviously, he won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, so he's had that experience. He's got a lot of experience playing in the playoffs as well. That's something the Steelers would certainly like as well. So that's certainly something to keep in mind if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers and you think that Matthew Stafford can be your guy, because plain and simply, guys, the Steelers are looking for somebody with playoff experience. They're trying to win Super Bowls now. So a guy like J.J. McCarthy, never been to the postseason, I don't think the Steelers are very looking much into those younger guys. I think they want somebody with a little bit of experience, somebody that's been there and done that to help them win a Super Bowl with this current group of Steelers players. Now, how this becomes possible, okay, because I know you're sitting at home right now saying, Jack, why would the Rams trade Matthew Stafford? Well, I mean, they might be trying to look to upgrade here. We talked about Sam Darnold being a potential option for the Steelers. What if the Rams end up tagging and trading for Sam Darnold this offseason, and the Vikings want to go with J.J. McCarthy? I think Sam Darnold is somebody that could be seen as a younger and kind of, more long-term option than Matthew Stafford there in L.A. And the fact is, the Rams are still an up-and-coming team that needs a little bit of rebuilding. They need to rebuild the offense a little bit. Their defense is still rebuilding. And, they may feel like Sam Darnold is their guy of the future. So you take a look at Stafford's numbers here over the last several seasons. And this year, a little bit of a dip in terms of the yards per game production. Touchdowns are still pretty decent. And, the interceptions definitely weren't as high as when he won the freaking Super Bowl in 2021. He led the league in interceptions back then in 2021, still won the whole damn thing, but he put up 41 touchdowns. So I guess that definitely makes up for it. But the reason why I would potentially like this, if the Rams go out and get Darnold and then they shop Matthew Stafford, is that the Steelers want to stay with this playoff experience veteran route. They want somebody that's been there and done that. They want somebody that's clutch in the fourth quarter. They want somebody that has been there and won a Super Bowl. And, Russell Wilson certainly fits that bill too, but Matthew Stafford is somebody that I think can make more big splash plays. I think he's more consistent than Russell Wilson is, and might be even a little bit cheaper in terms of the cap hit than what Russell Wilson would cost this offseason. So if the Steelers can pull it off, I would definitely bring Matthew Stafford to the Steel City. But the reality is, guys, Russ will likely be back as this team's QB1, at least in my opinion. The team likes him. Mike Tomlin likes him and his mentality. He loves his leadership qualities. And, they're not asking the world of him. All right? They're not asking him to be an MVP of the league. They're asking him to be somebody that can convert on third and long from time to time. He's done that. He's second in EPA in those situations this year. Throw the deep ball off of play action, and they're trying to build that run game. So they're really hoping that they can develop that, and they think Russ, with that run game, with a great defense, can really deliver for this team in the postseason and potentially even win a Super Bowl for this team. And he really does fit what this team wants in their starting quarterback. Plus, he's not going to be super expensive. Andrew Filipponi reported today that Russ reportedly wants $30 million per season. And honestly, that's a very reasonable price for Russell Wilson, in my opinion. Now, some people might cringe at that, but just so you guys know, that's not even cracking the top 10 in quarterbacks' annual average salary there. So I think that that's more than fair for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I think that's probably the deal that at the end of the day is going to get done. So let me know down there in the comment section, what's the percent chance that Russell Wilson is back as this team's QB1 next year? Put it on a scale of 0 to 100 for me down there in the comment section. 0 meaning no chance Russ is back, to 100 meaning he's definitely back. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today to listen to some QB rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button, because once the season is over, we got a bunch of these rumors coming out every single day, talking about wide receivers, quarterbacks, the whole 9 yards. We're going to cover it all right here on Steelers Talks. Make sure you click that subscribe button to never miss a video. All right, we got to be getting close to 100 here, Coop. We're getting a couple super chats.
We're about 20 away.
Coop says we're about 20 away. Gary coming in with another 10 says, I think Arthur Smith is give if we go one and done. Is gone if we go. I disagree, Gary. I think he's back. Who do you think we bring in? I say they convince Big Ben to be the OC. He knows the team. He knows the style. He could be good. And, I don't think Big Ben wants to do it. I don't. I think that Ben likes his life with his kids and all that stuff. I think he likes his podcast, being able to give takes on the Steelers as opposed to, working and being away from his family and traveling and all these different things. I don't think Big Ben is going to be an option, Gary. I see where you're coming from with that. He is a great football mind, sure, but
he does not want to be.
I don't think he wants to be a coach. And when it comes to Arthur Smith, I think he's staying. So, Gary, I think the only way that Arthur Smith leaves is if he takes a head coaching position.
I agree.
Because, the reality is the offense has been better this year. It hasn't been phenomenal.
But it's been better.
Yeah. And because you've had that positive step in the right direction, I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to say goodbye to another offensive coordinator. Especially one like Arthur Smith, who's very well respected.
Intern Sam is all up in our shit all day.
Well, I don't care about Sam. Sam's a nobody. I mean,
I had to fix everyone's Wi-Fi, which I didn't touch, but
$5
somehow.
super chat from Logie here. No one cares about this. I'm talking about Sam. He says, would you be willing to trade Mink for a 2 and 3? Or player trade, think Higgins or Garrett? When it comes to Minka, here's the thing, Logie. Personally, I would consider it, but the thing is, they're just never going to do it, man. I just don't think they are. If you guys don't know, Minka Fitzpatrick sits in on the defensive film sessions with Tomlin and Austin and the entire defensive staff every week. He's essentially a player coach. I just don't see them trading him, man. Mike Tomlin loves him. He fits what the Steelers like to do defensively. He's a very smart player. I see where you're going with here, Logie, but I just don't see this Steelers team in this front office even considering it. They really, really like him. So I think if they get Higgins or Garrett, it's going to be a trade for George Pickens. They trade Pickens away in exchange for Garrett Wilson. $5 from Joshua Bailey. What's up, Josh? What are you guys thinking about drafting Carson Beck or Ande Gadsden or Siobhan Revel? So Revel is a name that I've heard quite a bit come up. Very physical, big corner. Probably going to go.
ECU, right?
What's up?
ECU,
the Pirates there, or the Buccaneers. Are they called?
Pirates, yeah.
I think it's the Pirates. And I like him a lot. Got the physical skill set to be a number one corner. But here's the thing, man. Like I said earlier, I don't think they take a corner in round 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that they go corner on day 2. I think that's what their plan is right now, and I think they believe in Joey Porter Jr. So whether you like that or whether you don't like that, that's the feeling I'm getting from the team.
Not gonna lie, Ande Gadsden, tight end out of Syracuse. I know nothing about him.
Me neither.
So,
I still have to get into this draft season here.
And Carson Beck, he may have some serious elbow problems.
Yeah, and his arm is okay. It's an NFL arm, but I would say it's more like a Kenny Pickett level NFL arm, where it's good enough, but it's limited. And I think that mentally he can crash a little bit. If it's
Beck, oh yeah.
I mean, he crashed big time in some real big games on the road this year. I just don't know if he can handle the pressure of the AFC North. So I'm not really a big Carson Beck guy, Joshua, if I'm being honest. I'm going to have to do more research on Ronde Gaston, and then Siobhan Revel I like, but I don't think the Steelers are going to go get.
Feel that. All right, we're going to put a little shot clock on here.
All right, shot clock here. So we'll stay live for the end of this Notre Dame Georgia game. If we can get $15 in the next, 5 minutes?
We'll go 5.
We'll go 5 minutes. If we can get $20 more in the next 5 minutes, we'll stay live. And we'll do a mini watch party here for Georgia versus Notre Dame. Right now the score is 20-10 Irish. Irish have the ball at the 30. So 5 minutes to get $15 to stay live for the rest of this game. And of course we can answer your Steelers questions while we watch the game together. So if you guys want to extend, I see Logie with a $2 super chat here. We'll put you up on screen here momentarily, Logie. We're now down to just $13 more until we get to stay live for the rest of this football game. Cassie's got to go. Everybody wave goodbye to Cassie. Bye, Cassie.
Bye, Cassie.
I'll see you back home, babe.
Enjoy your ham tonight.
Yeah.
Christmas ham?
She might be, I don't know. Are we doing the ham tonight, babe? I think we are. Let us know. Logie will get you up on screen here momentarily. He says, Omarion Hampton, please. I would love Omarion Hampton as well. I think the Steelers are really going to prioritize running back early to replace Najee Harris. I don't think they address the position in free agency. I think they want to address it in the draft. I think they want to pay their running backs nothing. They don't view it as a high-value position, so they don't want to pay high-value prices for players at that position, at least not yet.
Ooh.
Hey, we just got a Venmo here, our first Venmo of the day. Send it to you. So we'll get to that Venmo here soon. Vibing with the dogs, my man. Come in with a $5 super chat. Mike G is here as well. We'll get to your guys' super chats in just a second. But yeah, Logie, I would be a big fan if Omarion Hampton ended up coming to Pittsburgh, for sure. Mike G, my man, coming in with a $2 super chat, says Emeka Ibuka, round 1 to the Steelers.
I'm in.
I mean, I'd be in. Question is, would the Steelers be in? Because I'm going to continue to say this, man. I feel like the Steelers are going to tell us that they're cool with George Pickens, Calvin Austin III, and Roman Wilson as their 3 receivers heading into next year.
Honestly, yeah, I could see that.
I mean, this team wants to be a run-heavy football team, so are they really going to invest high-level assets into the receiver when you already have your number 1? I would love it, Mike G. I think Ibuka is an awesome player. And I think he could add something to this unit. But I kind of feel like the Steelers are going to stick with Pickens, Austin, and Roman for next year. And it's so uninspiring, man. $5. Oh, no, we got a 5 from Vibin with the Dogs. Haven't seen you in a while, Vibin. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Vibin. And this says Joshua Bailey on there, but it's Vibin with the Dogs. And this isn't the right super chat. There's Vibin. Says Fields to the Browns seems to have legitimacy. Hope he destroys us since you think Rush should be QB1 right now and he shouldn't be with his turnovers. Well, if you want to show that player 2 comp, Mr. Coop.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Fields had a higher turnover-worthy play percentage, Vibin. In fact, a much higher turnover-worthy play percentage. Now, listen, man. Russ needs to take care of the ball better than he has the last 2 weeks. He understands that. But remember, 2 weeks ago, he led the NFL in turnover-worthy play percentage at just 1.1%. All right, so Russ has done, generally, a very good job taking care of the football. So, and he has, I think, a top 5 interception percentage in NFL history.
He does.
So in terms of NFL history, he's one of the best at protecting the football. So, if you're talking about the guy that's going to protect the football better there, Vibin, I think history would tell you Russell Wilson is the guy. I understand recent history doesn't tell you that, but I would say try not to be too much of a prisoner of the moment in that regard.
The numbers still tell you that he has a less turnover-worthy percentage than Fields.
Fields has almost a whole point higher than Russell Wilson this season. And you got to remember, Fields led the league in fumbles, and that's why the number is higher for Fields.
Yeah.
It's because he fumbled the ball a lot. Pittsburgh fan 412 coming in with a $20 Venmo, which means, of course, we're going to be here for the end of this game here, Coop.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, we'll shift into kind of our watch party coverage here, guys. If you got an idea, you've got a suggestion, you've got a question you want to ask, you can super chat. We'll put you up on screen, but we're going to discuss this football game here. Justin Watson, my man, my favorite guy to disagree with, man. You know I love you, Justin. Says, who's playing Z? Wilson is completely unproven.
I'll be right back.
Talking about next year with Roman, it's Calvin. Now, I know Calvin's small, and people think because of that he's only a slot guy. I actually think he's better on the outside at Z. I actually think that's his best spot. It was his best spot in college at Memphis, and I think that's his best spot in the pros. Now, he's had the play slot quite a bit this year, about 50-50 outside versus slot split for Calvin this year. But that's because Roman hasn't been on the field. When the team drafted Roman this year, the vision was that he would be the slot specialist, Pickens would be the X, and then Calvin or Van Jefferson would fill in at the Z. That was the initial vision. And obviously Roman got hurt, and that kind of screwed up everything. But, I was told that the original vision when they drafted Roman was Pickens at X, Calvin at Z, and then Roman in the slot. And am I going to tell you that I think that that is an unbelievably awesome receiver trio? No, I'm not going to tell you that. But I think that's what the Steelers think is an awesome trio, and that's what matters, what's going to happen. And, I would love for them to get somebody else. I think Calvin's a really good 3. I don't know if he's a number 2. And I have no idea about Roman. I mean, Justin, we've had this discussion, right? It's like we have no idea. Earlier in the show, I referred to Roman Wilson as Schrodinger's receiver because you don't know. You can consider Roman Wilson both alive and dead, which makes his evaluation for next season extremely difficult because he could be like a really good short to intermediate route running slot technician next year and be a really good player for us, or he could be a nothing burger and he could suck like Van Jefferson has this year, like Allen Robinson did last year. The Pittsburgh Steelers used to be known for, being able to spot receiver talent and get the most out of receiver talent. Maybe that's still true, but honestly, over the last several years, I don't know if that's true. So we'll see, Justin, but, I think that the plan and the vision that they have is that they want to be a run-first, ground-and-pound football team, which is why I think that there's a chance they take a running back very early next year in the draft because they want to have that 2 receivers or 2 running back system, and they want to go heavy play action off of that, which is why I think Russell will be back next season because he can throw that deep ball off of play action. He has been very good on 3rd and long this year, and he's very clutch. He's delivered multiple times in the clutch this year. So, and then, you have Pickens as your true X, and then you have Calvin as a Z, and he's shown some good things this year, and then you're hoping Roman Wilson does a good job in the slot. And I can't say that's the plan I would do, but I think that's the plan that the Steelers are going to do. And that's where I'm at. All right, we got any more supers here, Coop? So we'll get to the supers here. We'll also get to our coverage of this Notre Dame-Georgia game here. Do we have the graphics for that? Coop is getting those graphics, so we'll get those up here momentarily. If you guys got a question, if you got a comment, got a disagreement, let me know. I love talking ball with you guys, man. Even if it's disagreements, man, all I care about is that we're respectful. We understand that we're all on the same team here. We all want what's best for the team.
ELE.
Vibin with the Dogs $10 says it's what you have done for me lately. I could care less about the past. Well, you're literally referring to the past with Russell Wilson's interceptions in the past. So it says, LOL, we didn't learn from Big Ben when he was 35 plus years old. Give me Darnold. Love you, Jack and Coop. Love you too, Vibin. Love you too, man. Yeah, man. I think that you got to have a plan in place for the future at some point. Is that plan Fields? I don't know. It is year 4 for Fields, and he was still showing a lot of the same warts in his game as he showed in previous years. I think he got a little bit better this year than in previous years, Coop.
Fields?
I think he's a very good backup. I just don't know if he's ever going to get to the point where he's Lamar Jackson. I don't know if he's ever going to get to the point where he's Josh Allen. I don't know if he's ever going to get to the point where he's even Jalen Hurts.
I would agree.
Hope he does, though, man. He's a great kid, got a great mentality. I really hope Justin Fields becomes the player he could be. But, yeah, I just think that, Vibin, I'm a big picture guy. I take, not just 2 games into consideration. I take an entire season. I take an entire career. And I take the film in consideration. I think Russell Wilson, in my personal opinion, has done a better job protecting the football. That's who he is. And, I think that if you're making decisions based on 2 games, I think that's a little short-sighted. But that's just my opinion, Vibin. You could certainly disagree. I love you, dude. Thanks for the $10 super chat. I know Coop loves you, too. And honestly, man, like if the Steelers could get Darnold, I'd like it.
That'd be awesome.
I just don't think it's going to even be a possibility. I just don't think the Vikings can move off of him. Do you agree? Or do you think they're going to go with McCarthy?
There's no way the Vikings can move off of Darnold given what he's done this year because it's the devil you know versus the one you don't. And if you move on and you're risking going to J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't played it down in the NFL, took a year off football, had a pretty serious injury, it's like, that's just a risk I'm not willing to take.
Just got a Rappaport report here. It says the Jets interviewed Louis Riddick for their vacant GM job. That guy's an idiot, man. That guy
Lewis, please hire him.
Please hire him, Jets. That's such a Jets hire. I mean, Louis Riddick. I mean, goodness gracious.
Are you joking me?
I mean, if Louis Riddick was the GM of the Steelers, like he would have benched Russell Wilson from the start.
Yeah, you can't fix stupid, and that's just all I'll say on that.
Absolutely. Notre Dame's still up 20-10 in the college football playoff game here in the Sugar Bowl. By the way, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in the New Orleans
Absolutely.
era. That was just a tragic disaster on New Year's Eve, man. I believe it was a terrorist attack.
It was.
Man, that sucks, man. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Noah.
Absolutely crazy.
Sure. So Coop's getting our watch party graphics going here. We're going to have our mini watch party here. There's 3 minutes and about 30 seconds to go in the third quarter in New Orleans. So we'll stay live here until the end of this game. Hopefully we watch the Irish win. If you guys don't know, I'm an Irish guy. Vibing with the dogs, another 5. Appreciate you vibing. Says that line of thinking is why Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are making the Browns, Jets, and Panthers look like fools. What line of thinking? What line of thinking?
I don't follow.
Can you clarify, Vibin, what line of thinking you're referring to?
Nothing says, yo, Jack, do you think we could draft Jalen Milroe?
It's possible. It would be
I would be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers took him.
I also think Milroe's staying in college.
Well, he announced he's declaring today.
Did he actually?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I was kind of hoping that Milroe would stay in school and play for the Fighting Irish.
Oh, we got a 4th down here.
We do have a 4th down here. But Vibin, if you could clarify that it's year 4. What do you mean, Vibin? That Fields can never be good. Oh, that Fields could never be good. I didn't say he could never be good. I'm just saying that, I was told once he was put into the Arthur Smith offense that he was going to develop. And he didn't really develop much this year. He developed a little bit.
Oh! Short!
And the Bulldogs are short. Irish take over on their side of the field around the 42-yard line. And Vibin, I'm not saying Fields can never do it. I'm saying that, after 4 years, and by the way, I think Baker specifically looked a lot better than Fields did after 4 years.
Absolutely.
Darnold is an interesting case, though, because he was legitimately, not great. And then also Geno. Geno eventually developed as well. So I really am rooting for Justin Fields, Vibin, but the question is, can you count on him to make that step that Baker made and Darnold made? Have you seen stuff even with Darnold? I said 2 years ago, if you guys want to check this out on Spare Dog Football, my IG actually, I made a short 2 years ago when Darnold was in San Francisco before the season started. And I said, could Sam Darnold be the best quarterback in San Francisco?
You did say that.
Over Brock Purdy. And people called me nuts because he finished that season in Carolina very well.
Yes, he did.
I think he led the league in big-time throw percentage to finish out that season. Darnold showed some indications that he could be this guy. $5 super chat. Logie says, Jack, if we had the O-lines that Josh and Lamar have, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson would be lighting it up. I actually think Lamar Jackson's offensive line hasn't been fantastic this year. Let me check here. If I'm not mistaken, so right now, Lamar Jackson has the 37th ranked offensive tackle at left tackle. He's got the 52nd ranked guard at left guard, 4th best center, 51st best guard at right guard, and then the 43rd best tackle at right tackle. So I honestly don't think the Ravens offensive line is dominant. I think Linderbaum is really good. Stanley's pretty good. But I think Lamar Jackson actually makes that offensive line look better than it is. That's the sign of a quarterback, Coop, that's really good.
Lamar,
Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, they make their offensive lines look better than they are.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, they're guys that hang on to the football for a long time. They hunt the big play. And I think guys like that make their offensive lines look worse than maybe that they are. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with you there, Logie, but I see where you're coming with, man. Lamar and Josh are just two incredible players. They really are. And, Lamar, I don't like him. I don't like the Ratbirds. But, as an objective football analyst, I can tell you Lamar Jackson's a damn good football player, man. He is. Always shrinks against the Steelers and the Chiefs, though, and in the postseason.
Yes, he does.
So hopefully that happens again this year. All right, here we go. Let's get into this game here. First down and 10 for the Irish on the Georgia 48. It's going to be a run the Price, number 24. He's going to pick up about 8. It'll be second down and 2 as the Irish, up 10, look to make this a 3-score game.
Come on now.
So the teams that won this weekend, Ohio State and Texas, I believe, will play, right?
Yep.
In the semifinals. And then the winner of this game will play Penn State.
Correct.
And Drew Aller. Shotgun, Riley Leonard. He's going to hand it off. It's Price again up the middle. He's going to try to pick up a couple yards. He bulldozes a man. Gets to the 35, and he's going to get down to around the 33. First down, Irish. Let's go. Coop, who are you cheering for in this game?
Definitely the Irish. I can't stand Georgia one bit. Should have had Penny do some copy.
Got another 5 from Logie. Appreciate you, Logie. We'll get to that here in just a second. Now on the 33-yard line of the Bulldogs, Leonard in shotgun will take the snap. It will be a jet sweep to number 6 of the Irish. He's going to slip and slither down for about 6 yards on first down.
He's slipping and slithering.
Slipping and slithering here, number 6. Logie again says in pass pro or run pro, they are good at big plays because their line can block. So let's take a look at their run blocking grades for PFF. Ronnie Staley, their left tackle, is 44th in run blocking grade. Patrick McCarthy, their left guard, is 50th in run block grade for guards. Linderbaum is one of the best run blocking players in the league, 4th best run blocking center. Daniel Filele, their right guard, is 54th among guards in run blocking grade. And Roger Rosengarten is 53rd among tackles. So, I don't disagree that they're a competent group, Logie, but when you have a guy like Derrick Henry, who, by the way, is first in PFF grading among running backs this year, like Derrick Henry is the reason why the run game is so good. I'm not saying that the O-line's bad, Logie, but I think, having Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, has the highest PFF grade in football. Not saying PFF grades are gospel, but Lamar Jackson's a hell of a player. He is. And so is Derrick Henry. That's the reason why that offense is so explosive. Not saying their offensive line is bad, but it's definitely not the main reason why it's so good, in my opinion. But appreciate the 5, Logie. Logie, $2 super chat. If we can put that up on screen whenever you're ready, Coop.
Mm-hmm.
Still communicating with our Wi-Fi friends here?
No. I'm doing some copy.
For Steelers?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Because we didn't. You should have had one of the interns do it.
I probably should have, yeah. He says, let me shut the fuck up then. Apologies. Logie, it's all good, man. And you don't need to shut up, man. Like, we're just talking. Just talking, man. You know we love you, Logie. You know we love you. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We still had 100 people in this chat room, Coop. Just watching we're not even watching a Steelers game. We're watching a Notre Dame, Georgia college football playoff game here. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll provide you guys free Steelers content every single day. And we're going live on Saturday for our Steelers watch party for the regular season finale. hopefully this Steelers team can get the stench off of those last 3 losses with a dub.
That'd be nice.
My man Vibin coming in with another 10.
Get to that in just a moment. What's up, Beast?
What's up, Jack? Lotteray. A lot of you guys remember Jack from our Pirate streams. He's going to come up and say hi. Let's go Bucks, Jack. Let's go Bucks. He looks tiny up here. $10. Vibin says, I live in South Bend and hate Notre Dame, but hate Georgia, so I'm watching for fun. Give me Kyle Allen as QB1 then, since Fields and Wilson ain't it. I mean, like I said.
Vibin, you might be on drugs.
Yeah. But Vibin, it could very well be the case that Russ isn't going to get the job done, man. I'm just saying that I trust Russ more than I trust Fields at this point. If you disagree, that's perfectly fine, man.
I trust Russ more than I trust Kyle Allen.
Yeah, definitely. We all want the same thing, Vibin. Thanks for the 10, man. By the way, Vibin, make sure you're watching on Saturday. With all these 10s, you're getting a bunch of raffle tickets for the jersey raffle on Saturday.
True.
Here we go. Riley Leonard gearing up for the end zone, and it's not going to be even contested here. Incomplete. 3rd down and 4 for the Irish coming up. Vibin's asking what jersey raffle. We are giving away a Steelers jersey
of your choice,
of the winner's choosing. After the game on Saturday. So make sure after the game you tune in for our watch party to see if you win. Oh, yeah. Super Steelers Gaming is wondering if we go get Jalen Milroe if he falls to the 2nd round. Honestly, I probably wouldn't take Milroe in the 2nd. The very earliest, probably the 3rd or the 4th. He's just not a very developed passer now. And he's got a long ways to go. He's an explosive athlete. He's got a big arm. Can make some big-time throws. We'll see where he's at. Maybe somebody pulls the trigger on him in the 2nd. I know Mike Tomlin is going to be intrigued by his physical skill set. But honestly, I think what the Steelers want to do is they want to bring back Russ and they want to bring back Fields next season. I think that's what they want to do.
4th and 1?
4th and 1 for the Irish here. On Georgia's 24, Leonard's going to try to run. Now he's going to throw it. A nice play by Riley Leonard. 1st down Irish, but a flag is down.
Illegal man.
And I think it's going to be a legal man downfield on Notre Dame.
Run the ball with Riley Leonard.
No, they're going to go a legal shift. I guess somebody wasn't set before the snap for the Irish, and it's going to be now I think they're going to have to kick the field goal, Coop.
Oh, yeah. Still making a 13-point game.
The Irish is up 10 right now, so they were trying to make it 17 points and go up 3 scores and essentially end this thing. But now it's a relatively long field goal here for Notre Dame. Mitch Jeter, the kicker for the Irish here. It's 2 for 2. But it's a 47-yard attempt. Jeter puts it up,
Nails.
And it's going to be just inside the left upright. Good.
Nails.
And the Irish go up 13 here with 13 minutes and 47 seconds left to go in the game. My man Dennis.
Come on now, Chip.
Says, love to New Orleans. Justin Fields at running back, select plays, dual threat thoughts. I mean, at this point, I'm open to anything, Dennis. We've been speculating about packages with both Russ and Fields on the field at the same time since we got Justin Fields. So it's something that, if the offense isn't going, maybe Arthur Smith can throw in a couple packages here with Fields and Russ on the field. Now, I don't think you turn Fields into a true running back. I don't think that's the case. But I would certainly be open to using Fields more in the low red zone. He had 5 rushing touchdowns this year because he's such a weapon with his legs down there. So I feel like the Steelers could alleviate some of their red zone troubles this year by utilizing his legs down there more. Also, I think you could use him more on 3rd and shorts, 4th and shorts. You can get him involved. I don't know as a true running back. I don't know if that's really a thing, and I don't think Fields would be willing to do that, if I'm honest with you, Dennis. It's an interesting idea. He's a dynamic rusher, but I'm surprised they haven't used him and Russ on the field at the same time this year. Just imagine the jet sweeps and the reverses and all the crazy stuff you could do with both of those guys on the field, Coop.
Oh, I know.
That'd be crazy. So here we go. The Irish kick things off to the Bulldogs. They'll let it go in the back of the end zone. Touchback. Sorry, Siri. Let's see here. So here we go. Shotgun for Georgia. 2 receivers in a stack, wide right. It's going to be RPO, thrown middle, caught, and it's going to be fought forward here for a first down for Georgia. Good fight to pick up the first. Got the extra 3 yards after contact there, and it's going to be first down Bulldogs. So Gunnar Stockton here, making his first college start in the college football playoff today, Coop.
Unreal, man.
He's going to have to lead a fourth quarter comeback down 13. Georgia going to get to the line quickly, under center in a condensed formation. They're going to hand it off. It's going to be a toss play. They got blockers in front, and now there's open space to the 50, to the 45, the 40, and they get down to the Irish 35-yard line. Big pickup for Georgia, and they are cooking, Coop. Alex Manderful's asking, who do you guys want to win? We're both cheering for the Irish today, but if you're cheering for somebody else, we're not going to, this isn't a Notre Dame stream or anything. We're going to try to call it pretty 50-50. Now it's another play out there here for Georgia. He's going to pick up another 7. Nice little play once again for Georgia as they're marching down the field against one of, if not the best defense in college football, maybe other than your Texas Longhorns here, Coop, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Notre Dame's defense, big, strong, and fast, man.
Shotgun. Stockton will hand it off once again, and it's going to be a first down pickup here for Georgia after a gain of 3 from Frazier Jr., number 3 out of Georgia.
Don't forget to pay your rent today if you haven't already.
Oh, I paid my rent.
I forgot to do it.
So here we go from the Irish 25.5-yard line here. Shotgun Stockton. One receiver out wide to the right. Takes the snap. He's looking towards him. Slant, caught, and now dropped. Good coverage here by Gray, the number 2 corner for the Fighting Irish. Keep your eye on Benjamin Morrison, number 20 for the Irish.
He's a stud, man.
He is an absolute stud. Xavier Watts just came out of the medical tent here. Hopefully he's okay. He's the captain of that Irish defense. He's going to be a great NFL player, man. Shotgun Stockton. Takes the snap. Irish send 5. Gets to him. Stockton throws, caught way behind the line of scrimmage, and there's some rallying Irish defenders. It's going to be a loss of about 4 or 5, and it's going to be third down and long for Georgia. Doomify is asking, Jack, did you see the 2025 schedule for the Steelers? I did. I glanced at it, and it's very tough. It's very difficult. Coop, I don't know if you can find that. 2025 opponents for the Steelers.
Yeah, I can go find it.
But it's a gauntlet again next year, guys. Steelers, or NFL, is screwing the Steelers yet again. Shotgun here for Georgia. They're on the Irish 29. Trips formation out to the left, or to the right. Now he's going to throw left, and it's dropped by Georgia. It's picked up by Notre Dame, but they're going to call it incomplete. It'll be 4th and 13. 4th and 13. They got to kick the field goal here, right, Coop? There's still enough time to come back from 10.
Yeah, you kick it and make it a 10-point game, I think.
The Irish got to Stockton quickly there, blasted him after the throw. No, they're keeping the offense out there. Same formation, trips right, single receiver out to the left. Stockton takes the snap. He's looking, pressure getting to him early. Gets down the middle, incomplete.
Oh,
now they're going to call flags on that. Are you kidding me?
Classic Georgia.
Kaiser, the stud captain linebacker for Notre Dame, didn't get his head around. And is there any worse play in football, Coop, than throwing a defensive pass interference on an underthrown ball?
No, nothing worse.
They need to abolish it.
I absolutely agree. If it's underthrown, don't throw the flag.
If it's underthrown, it should be deemed uncatchable. I think this is good coverage. I don't think he necessarily prevents him from getting it. Now, maybe that's my Notre Dame bias talking, but I don't know, man. First down, Georgia, and a huge break for the Bulldogs here, right when they needed it. Condensed formation, shotgun, Stockton. Now at the Irish 16-yard line, and now a stoppage of play. I don't see flags. Someone called timeout here? Crowd is booing.
What's up?
Does she have a watch party in here tonight? Oh. So they're going to commercial. I guess there was some sort of timeout. I don't know. But here's our opponents for next season. And as you guys can see, it's not exactly easy. So at home, you got to face, of course, your division rivals. So Baltimore, Cincinnati, and then Cleveland. Cowboys next year, what's your kind of projection on them next year?
Is that right? Or is this for this year?
Yeah, this is this year, dude.
This is this year's. Okay.
This is this year. What are you doing, Coop? Look at the year, brother.
It says 24-25.
I know. It's supposed to be 25-26 because it's next season.
I can't believe it.
Come on, Coop. So the game in New Orleans is at commercial break right here, guys. Coop is trying to find the he's trying to find the 2025-2026 opponents for the Steelers. Just a reminder, guys, we're going to be going live for the Steelers game on Saturday, starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. We got the largest Steelers watch parties anywhere on YouTube, so we appreciate you guys. So here are our opponents next year. Of course, you got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Buffalo. It's going to be a tough one to defend home field against. Green Bay, another team that can run the football. Indianapolis. I have no idea how Indianapolis is going to look next year. I kind of feel like that's a good landing spot for Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
So that one would be interesting. Miami, we'll see if they get back on the horse next year. Minnesota, probably with Sam Darnold. Seattle at home. So I think, the games that are winnable there, obviously Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, you can win any of those division games. I think you can beat the Packers, but, I think next year they're really primed to have a really good season. You can beat the Colts. You can beat the Dolphins if they stink. You could probably beat Seattle, too. So you could probably win quite a few of your home games. But then the away games, you got Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Chicago. If they get like Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams has a breakout second season, look out, man. Chicago might be tough. Detroit, another good team. Patriots, do you think Drake May is going to break out in year 2? I kind of feel like he's a year 3 kind of guy. I think he's going to do some good things next year, but I think it's going to take till year 3 before he's really kicking it in gear. Then you get the Jets and the Chargers. So,
what's up, Chaser?
Chase Sr., what's up, man? Adrian says Aaron Rodgers will get re-signed to a team that wants to fill seats but not win a Super Bowl. He needs to retire. Sounds like the Colts to me. Jim Irsay, what a joke. Here we go, Georgia. New set of downs after the DPI. They're at the Irish 14. Takes the snap. Stockton looking to his right. He's throwing end zone. One-on-one coverage. Good coverage here by the Irish. Incomplete. Tried to go to Tuggle, number 2 for Georgia. Not necessarily a bad throw, just good coverage. Nobody plays man coverage in college football better than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish there, Coop.
They have some good cover corners, man.
Benjamin Morrison's going to be a stud. Shotgun, Stockton. 2 stacks out to either side. Now they're going to go QB draw with Gunner, and he's going to get crunched after about a 4-yard gain. Ouch. Freshman getting some love taps here. Doomify is asking record prediction for next year. You want to put that back up for a second? Now there's an injured Irish player, so they're going to take another break. Let's see. Off the top of my head here, I'll go sweep the Ravens because F the Ratbirds. I'll go sweep the Browns because F the Browns. I think they're probably going to sign Kirk Cousins, and they're going to have, or Justin Fields, honestly. And they'll have whoever they sign compete with Deshaun, who absolutely sucks. Then, so I'm going to say that they go 5-1 in the division, just to be optimistic here. I think they lose to Buffalo at home. Green Bay's a tough one. I'm going to say they lose to Green Bay at home. I'm going to say they beat the Colts. They beat the Dolphins. They lose to the Vikings. Win versus Seattle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins there. And then in the away category, I'm going to have them beat Chicago, lose to the Lions, beat New England, beat the Jets. And I'll say they lose to the Chargers. Why not? So how many wins is that? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So I have right now when I'm looking at it, I think, as long as they can do the things that I think that they're capable of doing, they can get another double-digit win season next year.
They absolutely could, and it certainly depends what they do in the offseason, right? Like, we don't know what their roster's going to look like.
We don't know what the O-line's going to look like. We don't know if they're going to get a receiver. We don't know if they're going to upgrade at corner. It's a lot of unknowns, but there's a lot that's going to change between now and the start of the season. But I would go 11-6 right now.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
And by the way, like that's with what I think the team is going to look like next year. And I think and I'm doing that with like Russell Wilson at quarterback. I'm doing that with a rookie running back along with Jalen Warren. I'm doing it with Broderick Jones, Sayamalo, Frazier, McCormick, and Fautano on the line.
Yep.
Pickens, Calvin, and Roman as your starting three receivers. Honestly, man, like I just don't see the Steelers making a big-time investment at receiver this offseason.
You think day 2?
Maybe they take one in the draft. Maybe what I would love them to do is I'd love them to go get D-Hop.
That'd be awesome.
D-Hop is not that expensive. He's a veteran. And he's got a very similar skill set to George Pickens, man. Like, good downfield threat, can still catch those 50-50 balls. And he won't cost a fortune, which I think is something that's important to the Steelers. Because the Steelers want their offense to be known for the run game. They want to look like Philly. They want to look like Baltimore, where they can just run the ball at will. That's what they want their offense to look like. So they're going to prioritize offensive linemen and running backs over receivers. And, you can disagree with that. I certainly have my qualms with that strategy, but that's the way that they want to build this team. Here we go. 3rd down and 7. Big play for the Bulldogs here on the Irish 11. Shotgun Stockton. He's going to make a switch at the line here with 20 seconds to go on the play clock. Irish showing blitz. Or at least they're threatening it. Now they send 4. There's a free rusher, but Stockton gets out of it with a nice spin. Now he's going to try to run, and he picks up 2 yards. It'll be 4th down and 5. They went for it on 4th and 13, so I can't imagine they're gonna kick the field goal here, Coop.
They got to go for it again. They're already this far down. You never know you never know if you're going to get this far down the field again. They have no choice.
Shotgun here for Stockton. Condensed formation. They've got a bunch to the right, close to the line of scrimmage. Now he's going to go end zone, and the receiver falls down. He was not interfered with, and sheathed the sword there, Mr. number 2 there. It's going to be incomplete. Irish take over. 9.5 minutes to go in this game.
They can kill this clock, man.
And, with Jeremiah Love and Price, they're going to try. They got the long field here, so they certainly have the opportunity to be methodical.
Absolutely.
You want to know what my take is for the Steelers this offseason, Coop?
What's that?
I think it's going to be a very boring offseason for this football team. I don't think they make a change.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't think they make a change at head coach. I don't think they make a change at either coordinator position. I don't think they make a change at quarterback. I think the receiver room is going to look very similar next year as it does this year. Maybe the one big story is George Pickens gets traded, and they replace him with like Garrett Wilson or something. I think the defense is going to look very similar. I don't think they're going to trade any of their expensive defensive pieces. They're going to continue to try and build through the draft. I think honestly the splashiest move will either be trading George Pickens or drafting a running back early in the draft.
Yep.
Those are probably, looking at this right now, I think that's what we're looking at. No coaching changes and, no change at the quarterback. I think they're going to keep Russ. They'll sign him to like a 2-year, $60 million deal or something. Give him 30 or 35 guaranteed. By the way, if they paid him 30, where would he rank in among quarterbacks right now?
If they paid him 30?
If they paid him 30 a year, where would he rank?
Well, that's probably like 18th, 19th.
I'm looking it up right now. Right now, 30 would be in between Baker Mayfield and Geno Smith. So that'd be 1, 2. So I think that's 20th in the league. I think that's more than I think that's more than fair.
Big third down here for the Irish.
3rd down and 3 here for Notre Dame. Big play for Georgia. Moving the chains here would be huge for Notre Dame. Riley Leonard takes a snap. Nothing there initially. Rolling out. Now he throws it to his check down. Got to make him AMS. He does, and he's going to pick up a first down. What a play by the Irish. Are they going to give it to him?
Yep.
Oh,
He's
man.
there.
Number 20 for Notre Dame just shook off a Georgia
Kirby's
tackle.
on the field.
I know Kirby is saying there's no way he picked up the first down. I think he's right.
He didn't.
I don't think he got there. I think it's going to be 4th down and 1. If I'm the Irish here, I'm going to go for it.
Oh, on your own 30, you can't.
I'm going for it.
You can't.
Put it away. So $30 million for Russell Wilson would put him in between Baker and Geno for the highest paid quarterbacks. I actually kind of think that's where he slots in.
It makes perfect sense. He's the 20th best quarterback in the league, basically.
So that's pretty much what I'm expecting from the Steelers, is that they're just going to run it back with Russell Wilson. Hopefully these next 2+ games give you some confidence in that decision. But, if he sucks these next 2 games, though, you got to look at your options.
Oh, Michael Williams down, and it looks like he's all right, but he was struggling. I think this you would go for this on your own 30?
If it's 1 yard, I trust my offensive line.
No way.
And also, I trust my defense to get a stop. I don't think Stockton's scoring.
You have to punt this football. That's why I think you punt it, because you don't think Stockton's scoring.
By the way, the Steelers have $53.9 million in cap space right now. So that's before cuts. That's before, restructures.
They're going to punt this football.
Notre Dame's going to punt. So, $30 million for next season is what you pay Russ. You got $23 million left. You can't pay T. Higgins then.
Oh!
What are they doing? Oh,
They're going!
the Irish are running onto the field. Are they going to run?
No way!
So now the Georgia players, now I think they got 12. I think they got more. This is going to be flagged. Snap it, Riley. He doesn't snap it.
They weren't letting him. No way.
Oh, he got him offsides. They got him offsides. Now Leonard throws deep. Incomplete, but a flag.
Oh, my goodness. Irish.
The offsides penalty is going to move the chains.
God, Kirby's such a whiny little bitch boy.
Marcus Freeman coming out with the juice. Are they going to call false start here?
No.
There's no way. Kirby is saying they got to. They're going to neutral zone infraction or offsides. Oh, man. What a brilliant call by Notre Dame. And they got the Georgia players who were rattled to jump.
We'll see ya, Kirby.
Heineken SK says, what would the Steelers do with backup quarterback since you don't believe we will keep Justin Fields? I actually think that they will want to keep Justin Fields. I just think that if Fields gets an opportunity to start elsewhere or compete for a job, that's what he's going to want to do. So we'll see if Fields gets an opportunity somewhere. If he doesn't, I think he's going to want to come back to Pittsburgh, and I think the Steelers would want him back as their backup next year. So I actually don't think it's impossible Fields is back, and for me personally, I want Justin Fields back next year. So hopefully that's the case. 2nd down and 9 for the Irish after a first down run.
Irish going to milk some clock here.
Yeah, man. That first down was huge because it allows Notre Dame to just kill this clock. Another first down is going to pretty much put this thing away. They hand it off to Price up the middle. He's going to try and fight forward. He's going to get maybe 2. Be 3rd down. Riley Leonard's going to have to throw it here.
Notre Dame, Penn State. Who do you like? I think I like the Irish.
I like the Irish too, man. I think that they can force Drew Aller into some mistakes. And, that's the biggest game of James Franklin's career.
The national title game is taking place at Jerry World next Friday.
Maybe. Don't count out my Irish, though. Don't count out my Irish in the come on now chips.
Don't ever play Sperry in CFB 25 when he's using Notre Dame.
I will kill you. Riley Leonard is a god when I play with him. Here we go. They're going to run it with Leonard. He's going to escape out to the outside.
Riley.
And he's going to get the edge.
Yeah!
Irish! Riley Leonard flips over a Georgia defender to get past the sticks. First and Irish. Doomify asks, who would be our backup quarterback if we got rid of Justin Fields? I don't think it's a matter of getting rid of him. It's a matter of him choosing to another place. I think the Steelers want him back. But if he's not here next year, Marcus Mariota, Jacoby Brissett,
Dude, Mariota blows.
He actually played really good against Carolina.
He did. His start, he did play well.
So,
it was Carolina, though.
It's not going to be anyone inspiring, I can tell you that. They might draft like Jalen Milroe.
Kirby's going to use this.
Super Steelers Gaming is asking, how do you feel if we draft Riley Leonard in the draft? Dude, I love my Golden Domers. Riley Leonard is not an NFL quarterback.
He probably doesn't have a draftable grade.
He's got training camp and preseason legend written all over him, but he's not a pro QB.
Who would you rather have, him or John Rice Plumlee?
What's that?
Who would you rather have, him or John Rice Plumlee?
I'd rather have Riley Leonard, but John Rice Plumlee, he's Steelers legend for life. I think he was the number 1 overall pick in the UFL draft this year.
Yeah, he was.
So if you're going to be watching the UFL, John Rice Plumlee did some good things in the preseason.
I don't think I'll be watching the UFL.
Carter says, Jack, if you were the manager, would you keep or get rid of Arthur Smith after this season? I've had some frustrations with Art this year, personnel mismanagement. I think that he's been underwhelming with his stuff in the red zone this year. And for some reason, the guy's got a hard-on for Van Jefferson, even though the dude stinks. But, I would personally love to go out and get somebody from the Shanahan tree or, even bring in Byron Leftwich, I would like. I think he would run an offense that fits Russ's skill set, Coop. And, if Shane Steichen gets fired, I would love for Steichen to come here.
Leftwich wants back in, I heard.
Leftwich does want back in. So, personally, if I knew I could get somebody that I thought was better, I would do it. But it's not about what I want, Coop. It's about what Mike Tomlin wants and what he thinks. And, Arthur Smith is a very respected coach. I mean,
yes, he is.
Arthur Smith is going to get head coaching interviews this year. Like, the NFL world loves Arthur Smith. So there's just no way the Steelers, after an offensive year where they take a step in the right direction, are going to fire him. So if Arthur Smith leaves for a head coaching job, then you can get an offensive coordinator. But I just don't know if Art's going to get an opportunity. And if he doesn't get that opportunity, I think he's back. Dominic says, wait till next year for Drew Aller. I actually kind of like that plan, Coop.
I do too.
You try to bring back both Russ and Fields for next year. You try to improve upon your run game. Try to make some improvements in that regard. Get a good running back in the draft. Try to be, it's hard to do what the Cowboys did when the first year when they drafted Zeke. Zeke was a special player coming out, man.
Number 4 overall pick.
The Steelers want to be that type of football team that just runs the football at will. So I think that's what the team's going to try to do this offseason. Whether or not it works, it remains to be seen. Under center here, Riley Leonard on 2nd down and 8. It's going to go jet sweep here. Going to cut up field, and it's going to get close to first down yardage. It's going to be 3rd down and 1 coming up. And if they pick up this first down, game's pretty much over here, folks. It's pretty much over.
Matthew? You leaving? Bye, buddy.
See ya, Petey.
Steeler Petey?
Nope.
This has Leonard run all over it.
So the Irish come out here.
Look at it. They're 0. Now they're not. Yeah, they are.
They have empty here.
They're 0.
Oh, baby. This has Leonard run. And now it's going to be Leonard up the middle. He picks it up. First down, Irish.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Rally, Sons of Notre Dame. Cheer for Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes cheering her name. Send a volley, cheer on high. Shake down the thunder from the thunder sky. Up all the Ivory, brave or small.
What's pretty
Notre
crazy,
Dame will win overall.
Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois in week 2 this year.
While her loyal sons are marching onward to victory. Let's go, baby. Pistol formation handoff for the Irish to pick up maybe 1. It's my favorite. I think it's my favorite scene in any movie ever, Coop.
Rudy?
The Rudy montage where they have the men's choir singing the Notre Dame fight song. It's just an all-time great song. It's just an all-time great scene, man.
That's a good one.
By the way, we have a poll on today's show. What's the % chance Russell Wilson is Pittsburgh's QB1 next season? 40% say there is a 76 to 100% chance that he's the quarterback next year. 51, another 36% say 51 to 75%. So 76% of our audience, that's 420 votes right there, think that Russ will most likely be back with the Steelers next year. 26% think that there's less than a 50% chance.
I think he's back in the black and gold.
I would put it almost in the 85% range. Like I think it's almost like unless he really craps the bed the last few weeks here, I talked about it earlier, Coop. The one guy that I would consider if he was made available is Matthew Stafford. Because he's kind of like in the same vein as Russ, a Super Bowl champion, older guy, playoff experience, very clutch. But I think his upside is still just a little bit higher than than Russ's at this point in his career.
Oh!
It's a reverse for the Irish. He breaks outside, breaks a tackle. Another first down.
Go down.
Flag on the play.
Oh.
I mean, this game's over, Coop.
Yeah, it's done.
I mean, this game's over. There's 3 minutes to go. 23-10 Irish. I mean, Henry Mars says Russ is not coming back as QB1. I mean, maybe not. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, I think my read on the team is pretty good. I think it's well established and reported that the Steelers plan on bringing him back. But maybe not, man. Maybe he prices himself out or something, or maybe he shits the bed the last 2 weeks and they have to move on. Been wrong before, but
We're never wrong on Steelers talk. What do you mean?
I mean, I was told last year there was no way the Steelers sign Russell Wilson. And I was panned for my take that the Steelers should sign Russell Wilson. But we got that one right. We got the Justin Fields trade right after Kenny Pickett was traded. We actually predicted that Pickett would be traded to the Eagles.
Yes, we did. But Jack!
We predicted a lot right here on Steelers Talk here, Coop. That's why you subscribe to this channel, man.
That's why 73,000 yinzers of
That's why we're the largest Steelers News Talk channel anywhere on YouTube. Just passed 73K a couple days ago. Doomify says, Jack, last question. Should we get Cam Scatabo, whatever his name is? I wouldn't mind it, man. Especially if you get him in the second round, if he's still there.
He's a real lunch pail guy.
He's a Steeler.
He's a hard worker.
He's a hard worker. He's a Steeler. And, you got Jalen Warren. And, if you want to stick with kind of the theme of thunder and lightning, I mean, Scatabo can bring the thunder, dude.
Yes, he can.
He can bring the thunder.
Irish are going to have to punt this piece after the 2-minute warning.
Who cares? It's over.
I've seen crazier things.
No. Gunnar Stockton's not winning this football game. All right. We are going to say goodbye for the day, guys. I appreciate all the people that super chatted. We made almost $160 today. Shout out there. Did we show Pittsburgh Fan 412's Venmo?
Yeah.
I think we did, right? Yeah, okay. So Pittsburgh Fan 412, appreciate you. That's another 2 raffle tickets for you. Thank you guys so much for all of your support.
Godspeed.
You guys are the absolute best. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Don't forget, Steelers play on Saturday night. We go live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for our special 90-minute long pregame. We usually go 60 minutes, but for this regular season finale, we're going to go 90. So make sure you click that subscribe button. We'll see you guys on Saturday, and until then, here we go, Steelers.
Peace.